Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I got an interesting and super controversial topic that we're going to talk about, and the topic's going to be how being poor is the worst spot that you can be in right now. And first we're going to go over some numbers, then I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, and then I'm going to answer some comments from my last video that you guys really liked. And so let's jump into the video. So first, let's define, according to Google, let's define what poor really means. So being poor in the bottom lowest class of households means that you can see it on the screen right here. I've put it in from Google. I didn't take more research in that. I just asked Google, hey, what is considered being poor income-wise? And they said for single individuals under 65 making $13,788, that's considered poor. $16,400 for a household of 2 people. And it's funny, it kind of jumps up when you have 2 kids. It kind of jumps up being poor. With $30,000 a year, when you have 2 kids and are married, it's considered poor. So what does that have to do with the economy? So when we look at that Burger King is closing 400 locations, that is really bad news, because when I was in college, I actually went to Burger King, Taco Bell a lot, because it didn't cost me much and it still was a decent meal. Was it the best meal? No. But in college, money was really tight, and so that was a really reliable option for me to just say, hey, let me get a meal before class, I'm really hungry. So with that, I got a belly full, and it was pretty decent for like $10. That was in like 2015-16. Now they're closing locations, so they're taking away food opportunities from these people, college students and a whole bunch of other people that make like no money or making less than they should when you have a normal 9 to 5. Crossing the road, it's beautiful in Las Vegas this morning. And when I went to college and I didn't have a bunch of money, every dollar counted, and I couldn't spend money to go into Trader Joe's and make my own meals because I was kind of living on ramen. And when I did go out, it was to a place like Burger King, McDonald's, or something that was really cheap, like happy hour. So it didn't really break the bank, and I didn't really have to take out, more student loans or anything else like that. So why is that the worst spot to be in the economy right now? Is because it kind of trickles down. So when businesses aren't making enough, they're trying to increase prices, trying to make more, and the middle class is going to get also hit very hard, because these people then will have to cut spending to make ends meet. And so when you cut spendings, handouts, donations to churches, everything's going to be cut. So when you take away these cuts from the normal Americans that are in the lower income class, when you start cutting their stipends, their food stamps, their other stuff, that's going to make them be hungry. And then what is that going to do? They're going to do stuff that they would not do normally. And that is really, really unfortunate that we're in a society where when you're hungry, you have to work harder and trying to feed the people. And when I look at it with, from Europe, from Switzerland, I don't think that anybody should go to bed hungry in the United States or in the world in general. I know this is just me as a philanthropist, trying to see how I would wish the world was. I know it's not like that, because there's a bunch of stuff that goes into it. But I think we're going to be in a lot of hurt for the middle class and everybody else when we're going to get into this full-blown recession. And I feel like nobody really is saying that we're going to be hit that hard, because on the news it's like, oh, everything's doing fine, we're doing great, we're having all this, we have this low unemployment rate, blah 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 blah. Yeah, low unemployment rate's great, but when you can't make enough money to live, and when you live on minimum wage, yeah, you're not unemployed, but even though you're making money and doing something, it doesn't last you because everything went up. What do I mean by that? Well, when you're in the lower income brackets and you shop at the dollar store or at Walmart, and the dollar store just increased its prices by 25%, that means you can get 25% less stuff at the dollar store than you did before they increased prices. So that means you need to increase your income by 25% to get the same amount from the dollar store, or you'd have to do something else to supplement those 25% of more income. And I think everybody is in the United States is there where they need to make 25% more because everything went up so much. So I am walking in Las Vegas right now in my area, and fun fact, this house right here was owned by the Pawn Stars. This was owned by Corey and his dad, this house, and it's really a really beautiful house. Sold for like $2 million. I think on one episode they actually show it. So this is Corey's house. It got sold now, and he moved to another area in the city. But just a quick little fun fact about Las Vegas. So back to the video where we had to make 25% more income to just keep up to where we were before COVID. And that is really difficult because, frankly, with my business, I do not know how to increase my profit margins by 25% or my income by 25% without doing shady stuff. So when you're looking at normal Americans and lower income people, they got to make 25% more now than they did before just to keep up with the rise of costs and goods. So what do? Well, you got to find better rent, you got to find cheaper rent, you got to find cheaper car payments, you got to find cheaper insurance, and you got to find somewhere else to cut, because the food cost is kind of like a given. You got to eat. That is, you got to drink water and you got to eat. You can live on the streets, you cannot have insurance, and you can walk anywhere. But food, you got to eat. There is no way around that. Yes, you can eat top ramen, but eating top ramen every day gets really, really old. So when companies like McDonald's are going out of business, Burger King's are going out of business, we are in a bunch of hurt, because that is taking away an opportunity for somebody to eat for not a lot of money. And now, with that said, where are we going to go from there? Where are we going to go from here? Well, I have no idea. If you know something more than I do, let me know in the comments below, because I don't think that there's going to be like a silver bullet or something that we can do to make this go away and to help out the lower and the middle class, because there's not, how I look at it, there's not a simple solution to just raise the minimum wage, because when you're looking at it and you're making $17,000-$18,000 a year, what a bunch of Americans are, how do you combat that and give them training and give them like a skill or something where they can make more? Because if you want to do that, if you want to get them out of there, I know people that live in extended stays and they're already working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and are trying to make ends meet, and it is really tough, really, really tough for these people just to increase their income like that. So they're in the hustler mentality of trying to make it, to put food on the table, to get the kids fed, to do all this stuff while they're working so many times. So at one point you're just used to the grinding and used to the hustling, and you're like not seeing, oh, I need a promotion, I need to make more, I can do this. And I don't know how much this has to do with race, if it's like what percentage of white people and what percentage Black, Asians, Indian are facing this. But I think it's just more in the United States where it's like divided by class of people, and that is also really, really crazy when you think about it. It's not about work ethic, it's about your race. So that is something that I have no idea how to solve, because how do you solve a problem that a bunch of people aren't even recognizing? So when you look at it, where this is going, we are gonna see a bunch more unemployment. We're gonna see a bunch more people hurt from our job losses. And I remember during COVID, that was like the easiest time for people to get a job. Like the easiest time. You didn't really have to apply to jobs. You were just like by referral. Hey, do you know, how was this? Oh, this is, how is Jimmy? Oh, Jimmy's a great guy. I've known him for a year. Great, you're hired. Can you show up on Tuesday? Sure can. It's the easiest time for people to land a high-paying job. And now, or just any job, because you didn't need referrals. People were spending money, stimulus checks, everything, and people were just like, I need jobs. I need a good paying one, doing something better, or upgrading jobs or switching jobs. It was just 2 weeks of interviews and you got a new job, or it was just hey, can you show up on time? Great, and you were hired. So I saw this big billboard driving back from Vegas to California, the other way around, from California to Vegas. Huge billboard sign that says, we're hiring, we just care that you show up and be on time. That was their slogan. We care that you show up on time and you're hired. So if you're taking that into consideration, then I'm asking myself, what is going on with these people that don't show up on time? What are they doing? Do they not care? Did they not think that it's going to hit them that bad with the economy now? Because now people are going to show up on time, and if you tell them you're fired, they're going to be really hurting because they can't get another job. So that is really bad. So before I end this video, I got some questions that I want to answer. And one of the questions was this: is buying an asset? And I would say buying a house an asset, or buying one an asset. And I would say it depends. And I'm gonna give you an example of when it's not an asset. So houses cost money to insure, to maintain, to do, just to keep up. The bigger the house, the bigger the bills. So how do you figure out if in your area you should rent or you should buy? Well, I'm gonna solve it right here for everybody. So if you want to figure out, and I did that with my house. So if you want to live in a certain area, you got to see, is there availability to rent? In my area, I checked that before, and there was absolutely no ability to rent. With that said, then if there would have been an area that you can rent, 2 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, this camera's absolute garbage.